And in terms of Newcastle, they're reportedly set to report a first profit in 5 years and a record commercial revenue. Do you think Champions League is a key factor behind their revenues for last season going up significantly?
Well, yeah, it is. But the key reason that they're going to make a profit is actually nothing to do with the champion. Well, it's partly to do with the Champions League, I suppose, but it's largely to do with the player sales that they made right at the end of the window. Because had they not made those, they would have breached PSR. So, look, on an underlying basis, sort of at the operating level, Newcastle are like virtually every other Premier League club, and they're losing money. So, and by the way, this season they'll lose even more from the numbers that I'm looking at before you take into account player sales. I think they'll lose even more. So, they will be slightly profitable for last year on the PSR, but that's after something like 85 million quid of player trading profits, because they sold two players who are effectively on the books at zero. So that explains their profits. It's not because they're performing so spectacularly well from an operating perspective. And of course, this current season, they're going to lose the 37 million that they quoted for last season's Champions League. Of course, that's all going, the whole 37 million. So they'll do well for the current season just to get back up to the level of last season from a revenue perspective. And although some of the costs will have come down, so the wage bill probably came down for this current season, some of the other costs like player amortization will have gone up. So I still think they've got a very challenging situation. They can do deals in January, but they still probably will have to sell or make some kind of profits between now and the end of the season, or finish materially higher than they probably have budgeted for, which is now possible because they now look like they quite possibly could finish top 5.
And then in terms of the boardroom at Newcastle, they've appointed Jacobo Solis. That seems like another high quality appointment after he's held quite a high level position at PIF over the last few years.
Yeah. I don't think it's that significant in that he's probably just another rep for PIF on board. They've got very high quality people throughout the organisation and throughout the fund. I don't think it's going to move the dial, but I don't think it's going to be negative in any way either.
Do you think they're trying to get people around the table as they're looking to get these stadium plans firmly in place of what they're doing? Do you think it's kind of that kind of thing that they're doing at the moment?
I don't know. They seem to they've got very high quality people, around the club anyway. So and it doesn't need for them to be on the board for them to add value. So I wouldn't read too much into it. I think they're well resourced. The challenges of the stadium build are really about whether it can make a return. If you build a brand new £2 billion stadium, how do you get a return on that investment? It's not straightforward to see. Of course, the PIF guys will have a view, and the finance professionals in that organisation are very, very high quality. But as I say, they don't need to be on the board to give them some high quality advice and input.